Good evening, and it's Sunday, and we got a new show for you tonight. I'll be bringing Amber on here in just a minute. A few announcements, though. Uh, like I said, this is a brand new show. It's called A Dash of Reading. We'll bring her on. We got some great stuff. We got the teachers back to school episode tomorrow with Brandy Roberts, so that'll be fun to watch. And then we've got some other stuff, NFL, college shows all week long. So I hope you'll be tuned in and ready to share the joy that is a dash of life. So I'm just going to wait for Amber here, and we'll get started. It's fun. This is going to be a really cool show, and I'm going to bring Amber on here, and we'll get started. You just have to accept, and we're connecting, and I can be a little crazy.
Oh, let me turn you up.
All right.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Long time no see.
I know. You look good.
Well, you do the same. And you got a big puppy
Eric,
there. Awesome.
Yeah. Eric, if you're watching, come get this dog, please.
I like the background there. I like the background.
Thank you. My bookshelves are in my bedroom, so I'm sitting on my floor.
Awesome. I see you got a few pops yourself in the background there. So
Yes, those are the Goonies. And then, hang on. I don't think you can change it or shut it because of the Wi-Fi. Sorry, love. Those are the Goonies. I have Jane Austen is up there, and then Harry Potter's around here somewhere. I just started collecting, but I take mine out of the boxes. I notice you keep yours in there.
So some I do, some I don't. Yeah, it just depends. I'm working on getting it all squared away. But yeah, I have the Goonies. I have all the Harry Potters. So I have just about everything you can imagine. Yeah. So welcome to the show. This is our first show together.
Woo woo! Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I am. Totally good.
All right. So just to let you guys know, this is going to be kind of a short show today because this is a new one. We're going to just let you guys know kind of what the show is about. But tell us a little bit about yourself first.
My name is Amber. I live in Northwest Louisiana. I'm married to Eric, who was on the NFL show the other day. I am the office manager of a custom gun shop here in Louisiana. So if you ever need your guns worked on, hit me up. I have 4 kids. Only have 1 kid left living at home. My youngest is 17. There's a huge light at the end of the tunnel. So exciting. I love to read. I read, I crochet, I scrapbook. Me.
You do it all. You do it all. I've seen the crocheting. How is that going?
It's going good. It's slow. I think I'm getting arthritis in my thumb, so it's old age is kicking in. But I usually do it while I'm watching TV with Eric.
Yeah. Well, I've known you since high school, or God, probably before high school. So we've known each other 30 years. And I want to tell you something. I did not start read. I hated to read in high school. Hated it. Hated it.
Really?
Hated it. Because it felt like it was forced upon me by all the teachers and everything.
Yeah.
Until I got into the military, and you deploy and you have time and a lot of time on your hands at some points, or you have and I picked up a book, and I have not set a book down since then. I have read. So probably now going on 30 years, I have been reading solid almost every day of something, at least 10 pages a day of something anyways. So what is...
Well,
no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, my mom will tell you I've been reading since I was 3, but my dad said I just had the books memorized when I was 3. But I've always read. I don't remember not reading.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite genre?
Historical fiction or mystery, preferably a mystery that takes place in the past.
Yeah.
That would, yeah. When I was 10 years old, my aunt gave me, maybe 5, 6, 7 of her Nancy Drew books. And so I have been hooked on mysteries ever since. And I love history. So pretty much any time before World War II, I'm all about it.
Oh, yeah. Historical fiction is one of mine. Bernard Cornwell, love his Last Kingdom series. I don't know if you've ever read that. It's basically set in Viking and Norse times, where the Vikings invade Mercia and London or England and things like that. Wonderful series. I highly suggest it. Maybe we can get somebody to vote for that sometime. So it's
Okay.
excellent. And it's if you've never seen it, Netflix has a show on it as well. They did a TV show on Netflix with it called Last Kingdom. So
Oh, Eric watches that. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, Eric loves that show.
Yeah, that is
Uhtred of Bebenberg, is that
yeah.
one?
Uhtred of Bebenberg. That's fantastic.
I have some not safe for work stories about that.
So yeah, I'm a mystery. I like mystery. I've read. I mean, believe it or not, I have read all the Nancy Drews for the most part and all the Hardy Boys. Any book. I mean, for me, I don't care what kind of genre it is. I'll read it. I mean, if it's romance, I'll read it. I've read the serials from Walmart on the Harlequins. I've read some of those. I mean, when you're, like I said, when you're deployed, you don't get much of a choice in what you get to pick from sometimes. And so, any favorite book, like if you were lost on a deserted island and you had to take one book.
Just one? Well, okay.
Well, I'll give you a series.
If I was lost on it, it would have to be the Holy Bible if you're going to make me pick, right? Because that's my favorite of all time. But if I can take two, right, okay. I'm going to take To Kill a Mockingbird.
Good choice.
So, did you have Mrs. Mullins our sophomore year?
No, I had a sophomore year.
Honors English class?
I can't remember what her name was. I did not have Miss Mullins.
Okay.
Who did I have?
Miss Warren?
Huh?
Anyway, we analyzed the mess out of this book in our sophomore year, and it was the first time in my life that I'd ever really and truly analyzed anything. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with it, and so I still read it like every couple of years.
Yeah, I read. There's a certain set of books that I read at least, once a year. Like I'll pick up books and put them in my stack or my to read pile. But I've got to reread. I've always got to reread Lord of the Rings trilogy. Always. And I'll reread the Witcher series. Excuse me. I'll reread the Witcher series. Love it as well.
Okay.
So.
I reread Harry Potter every 2 or 3 years too. So I'm actually been listening to him on audio this year. So I'm currently on the Deathly Hallows. It's been a long project, but Harry Potter's another one that I'll reread. So I can't take just one. I may not take food on this island. I may just take my books and wing the food.
Yeah, if I'm taking one book though, gosh, yeah, it's going to be The Hobbit. It's just going to be The Hobbit. That's I mean, besides obviously I'm taking the Bible. If we get to take 2 books, I'm with you. Yeah. I'm taking the Bible and I'm taking The Hobbit.
Yeah.
So, Tolkien, Hobbit was the very first book that my father bought for me, and I actually read. Like I mean, I read in high school. Don't get me wrong, but I know. You know what I'm saying. But like really continuously read. But The Hobbit was the very first book that my dad bought for me, and I still have the original copy. It's in my bedroom. It is loved. Wow. It is so, and it's in good shape, but in bad shape, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I read The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's probably been 5 or 8 years, but I like the Lord of the Rings better. But I feel like with the classics, sometimes you need a second reading. And I think you see the maturity behind it. I'm much better at reading the classics now than I was 10 or 15 years ago. So I might have to revisit that. Yeah.
Obviously you can, you can know what's kind of going on without The Hobbit, but I mean, Tolkien, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but Tolkien had so many, like if you want to read anything about Tolkien, read the Lost Letters or the letters that he wrote. And it literally describes every detail, and the Silmarillion is basically like his, what's the word I'm looking for? Like his everything, like it's his world. That's his entire world in the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Omnibus is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Just everything is in that book, and it breaks down from from the dawn of time to the fourth age of and it tells a little bit about that, and then obviously you get the Hobbit, and then so on and so forth down the line. So, well, we got a new show. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I keep.
No, I was just gonna say, I like fantasy because Harry Potter is one of my favorite books of all time, the whole series. But when you get into that really high fantasy, and I don't, you know what I'm talking about, like the really deep world building. I struggle just a bit with that type of fantasy. I have to take it slow.
I think the best part, about that for me, and I'm a high fantasy guy. Robert Jordan, Tolkien, things like that.
Yeah,
that's what captures me the most, is the world building, because now don't get me wrong, you get lost in any book you get read, you can feel yourself there and things like that, but the world, and I was talking to a buddy about it today, just the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, I Have the World and things like that. It's getting ready to be another show that's coming out on Amazon.
Yeah.
But the world building in it is just, I think that's what captures me when it comes to high fantasy. So I can, it's all, but there is someone who wants to say hello, who wants to come on for the very first time on my show.
Hi!
This is Eliana. She is an avid reader as well, and I figured this would be the best time to make her debut. And she just wanted to say hi and say, so can you say hi to Amber?
Welcome. Hi, Eliana.
Hi. Can you tell her you like to read?
I like to read.
Who's your favorite character?
Elsa.
Elsa is your favorite character. All right. We'll say goodbye and tell everybody thanks for watching. Say thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Come here, Rennie.
Oh.
So she was like, I want to be on the show, and I was like, all right, I'll let you, because she does love to read.
Sweet.
So we're learning, we're getting into our first books, and so
yeah,
but every night I need a book in bed.
Good. Good. You create a reading culture.
Yeah.
Your kids will read if they see you reading, and they won't necessarily be big time readers like me. Out of my 4 kids, only 2 of the 4 are actually big readers, and it's the boys. And statistically, that's not right. So my boys read and my girls don't. But I mean, I have books all over the place. It's just you read when you're in my house, and you start that age.
I love it. Yeah, mom, I both read. We take our time in our respective places, whether it's in the bedroom, or obviously I have my area behind me, but we both read, and the girls love it, and they're excited to come on and just so all right. So we
sorry, one more thing, and then I'll let you get going. I'm a talker. This is gonna be a problem. We can do an episode on children's books, because I homeschooled my kids, and I'm a big reader, and so I love children's literature. Middle grade fiction is actually my favorite age. So we can do shows about that too.
Yeah. I was getting ready. I was going to bring that up. That was, people always talk about young adult, and I'm like, there is no, I guess, a fine line between teenage and adult, because I worked in the bookstore,
Yeah.
And people would always recommend a book, and 99% of the times, there was some times I would take them straight to young adult, because there's some of those books are just, I don't know, I don't want to say better written, but I think it's kind of like where I get lost in the world, and I think some of these young adult authors do that. They bring you into a whole new world, and I guess that's what I would recommend to a lot of people.
Without grown-up problems, but if you take it a step younger, like any book that's for like 8 to 12, sometimes the teen angst gets to me in young adult books. Like I don't like the drama and the romance and all that stuff, and I'm specifically looking at Twilight. But
I'll agree with that one.
But like middle grade fiction, you can still tell beautiful stories about real, true things that are happening in the world without all of that angstiness or whatever. And so don't ever discount a book written for a 12-year-old.
Right.
They're really good.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones out there. I like the Land of Stories.
Yeah.
Yes, that is one right there that between me and our son has read every volume that's come out in that one, and I love it. And I like, again, it's because it's kind of that fantasy, but you're taking a twist on the fairy tale. So we got a new show going on here, everybody. This is a dash of reading, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it, and then we'll go into it a little bit more. So what this is, Amber and I are going to be doing, I don't know, monthly, bi-monthly, depending on what her schedule looks like. But we're going to be reading a book. We'll come back on the next episode that we do and review the book that you guys choose. For this first show, she and I have chose the book, and we'll bring that up here in a minute. But as we continue going on down the line, we want you, the viewers, to choose the book for us. And then we'll read it and review it for you. And how that's going to work is you do have to become a subscriber to the Dash of Life YouTube channel. So if after this episode, you need to go to the Dash of Life YouTube channel and subscribe. That way we can do it through that way, because that's the only way because this video will be deleted after we've been talking. So you won't be able to put it up on this video. The winner, if she and I choose your book, the winner each time will receive a $25 gift card to Barnes & Noble.
Nice.
So, yeah. What do you think about that? That's a pretty good deal.
That's awesome. Yes. To go buy the book.
To go buy the
book already.
Yeah. So if we choose your book, you get a $25 gift certificate to Barnes & Noble. But I think that's what do you think? That's a pretty fair deal for them to get to choose the book that we get to read. And I mean, because, it can be anything, any genre, anything,
So
you name it.
Are you going to pick by random? Like, are you going to let Reddy pick, or are you going to let me go to Goodreads and read the synopsises and let me pick?
I think we can work that out. I mean, we'll talk about it once we get a list of what they come up with. We'll come up and we'll decide. Who knows? We may just make a dartboard and throw a dart and see what we get.
Old school, put it in a hat and draw it out that way.
We can do it that way, but yeah, and so make sure that you sign up for a Dash of Life, and that way you can put your comments on the video after. This will be uploaded tonight. After the show is over, this will be uploaded on YouTube, so go sign up.
Do it.
So
do it.
You and I talked about which book that we wanted to do for this show, or for this show. So I have it right here, and I know it's going to be backwards. I dislike Facebook Live when it comes to this, but it is called Blind Tiger by Sandra Brown. Like I said, I will read any genre. This is a thriller, mystery type, historical fiction. And I didn't even know that before, but man, when I showed it to you, because I like I said, I like historical fiction, and you were like, well, what are we going to read? And then I took the picture of that and showed it to you. You were like, oh, I love that. I was
like, on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Have you read her before? Is she new to you, or have you read her stuff?
Like I said, I've read some of her. This will be one. This is, I think she's more of a, when I worked in the bookstore, we always put her in romance, but I would always consider her more of a. I would always consider her more of a mystery writer, anyways.
She is. She was president of the Mystery Writers of America.
We have Jamie.
Never heard of her.
You never heard of her? She has one called Blind. She's got some of those movies that have been on like Oprah Network, Lifetime Network, but But I like Nora Roberts, and I like under JD Robb, and she's got JD Robb. Yeah. That's her alter ego. And you got Nora Roberts. I like a lot of her stuff. And so I was like, I've read, and this was a long time ago, read some of her earlier work, but I was like, I was walking through the bookstore, and I was just like, man, this, obviously I saw the truck on the front, and it looked like, the Dust Bowl, and and so I was like, this looks really good. And sometimes you can, to me anyways, judge a book by its cover. I was like, well, that looks pretty good before I even because they got to
I
catch you with
totally judge a book by its cover. I totally judge a book by its cover. So whoever has this job that they do cover art, I totally judge. So this is an important job.
Yeah. So this will be the book. Like I said, Sandra Brown, Blind Tiger. If you guys want to read along with us,
Do it.
feel free. You can come back on the next show that we do. We'll have advertisements for it. You can join in the conversation and the review of it. I've always wanted to do a review show. I've always wanted, or at least reviews, because I think that's the best way to get people involved. And I'm still an old. You made a post today, something about always having a book in your hand, and that's why you have your Kindle or your Nook, or I think it was Kindle.
Kindle, yeah.
And I like the Kindle. Don't get me wrong, but to me, there's just something about good old fashioned
Oh yeah.
book, and I love, and so I like getting people to read, I guess, and to feel the worlds that we get to be involved
for sure.
in.
I don't care if you read on a Kindle, a piece of paper. Audiobooks totally count as reading. Don't let anyone tell you they don't.
Okay.
Just read, man.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that everybody loves to read. It just may take you a while to find your genre. So my oldest daughter, she doesn't read all the time, but when she does, she likes nonfiction. So she just knows that about herself. She's just gonna have to get a memoir or something.
Yeah.
You just have to read a whole bunch of different things until you find that genre that you love.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I got a question for you, because we were talking about book stacks and our to read piles. How do you set yours up?
What do you mean? How do I set my?
Do you my wife always asks me, how do you choose what book you're going to read next? I'll go from fiction to nonfiction to young adult to you name it. How do you do?
So do you read one book at a time before you move on, or do you have several going?
It will depend. If I've got a book that I'm wholeheartedly 100%, I want to be dead in this book, I'll read it by itself. If I might have, because like I said, I read everything. I'll read graphic novels. I'll read, like I said, young adult, children's books, you name it. So depending on what it is, I may pick up 2 graphic novels at one time to kind of get through them, or 2 young adults. But if it's something I'm 100 invested in, I don't want to take my especially if I get Ken Follett, his books, the Pillars of Time.
Yeah, I haven't started that, but I have the first one. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's so.
Is it high?
What's that?
Is it high fantasy or is it historical?
No, it's historical fiction.
Okay.
It is. It's it's medieval. Basically, It's about a architect and things like that, building some of the first churches in England and things like that.
Okay.
You'll love it. Man, it was but that's kind of the ones where I have to have 100%, because he's very detailed at times, where he's and you will miss something if you're
not focused.
If you're not paying attention, you'll miss something that's very intuitive to what the book is about. So, but yeah.
So as far as my TBR, as far as the books I own, I just decluttered. I had maybe 75 books sitting here in my house that I had not read yet, and I was feeling very overwhelmed. So I just decluttered and got rid of probably 40 of them or something. And then I put the rest in alphabetical order by author. And so I'm literally just grabbing them in alphabetical order. But my problem is I'm in several book clubs. I'm buddy reading. My husband and I are reading through the biographies of the presidents. We're on Abraham Lincoln. I'm currently reading a book with my son. I'm in a book club with in real life friends. And then there's a podcast called Close Reads, and I read along with them. So this is my currently reading stack. This is the stuff that I'm currently reading right now. So the Abe Lincoln biography, this is a book, a Christian book with some friends. This is some Greek tragedies. The Book of the Dun Cow. Winter's Tale with my Louisiana friends, and then Of Kings and Killers is a fantasy book I'm reading with my son.
Awesome.
This is why I can't do this weekly, Dash.
Yeah, I got you. No, I understand. Yeah, I have never been in a book club. I've always just, I've just, like I said, I've read it to myself, and then I'll just post a picture of the book I read and give my little thoughts about it. But
yeah,
I just wanted to do this, and I think this will be a really good
fun.
idea for it'll be fun, and so we'll stick with it. And Jennifer Geary just says she put the book on hold. Yay! Read along with us.
So Jennifer's one of my favorite people. When Jennifer texts me and says, "Hey, I think you'll like this," I immediately go get it because I'm going to like that. So she's like my reading buddy. You know what I mean? She knows what I'm gonna like. So yay! I'm glad she's gonna read along with us. Yeah,
so I tell my wife, it's just like, it kind of just has to hit me. Like I can bet, like kind of like you'll have certain books stacked up, and you do yours by alphabetical or whatever. But I don't know. I might just be like, I've read 2 fiction in a row. Now I want to be,
Yeah.
I want some. I make it a point to read something self-help and business-wise at least once a month. At least once a month. I definitely have that in my read pile, and I just think that is. I love, and I'm weird. I love self-help books, and it doesn't, it can be Marie Kondo to Brene Brown, if you want to call her self-help or whatever. But I love self-help, and it just, and not because I'm need help in my life. I just like to see other people's point of view on what they've done, and so that's kind of why I wrote one.
I also think, and I really like that, by the way. I can't wait for that to get in the world's hands. But I also think for me, in probably the past 5 years or so, maybe I've been trying to diversify my books and read, just diversify and read books written in other people's voices. I think that's important too, to not get in your bubble, because you learn. Like, I read for fun, and I totally read for just entertainment, but I also read to learn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, I mean,
every now and then I'll have to stick something in there that pushes me maybe a little bit outside my comfort zone.
I agree. I have read, obviously with some of the things going on in the world, I've read outside. I want to know. I mean, because if I'm going to speak and somebody asks me a question, I would like to be a little bit knowledgeable on any subject.
Yeah.
That whether it's history and World War II, or whatever the case may be. I try to be a little bit knowledgeable, because my son, he's very impressionable still, and he's always got questions, and if I don't know it, I'm going to go read it, and so I can at least give him an educate. I try to say an educated.
Good for you. Do you know anything about the Enneagram? Because you can't be my friend and not talk to me about the Enneagram. The personality number. Do you know anything about it?
Yes, I am a. Was it Ian?
Well, no, that's
ENFJ?
Myers-Briggs.
Huh?
That's Myers-Briggs. The EN. Yeah, I
ENFJ.
knew you were an extrovert. So I might make you figure out your Enneagram.
All right.
So I'm an Enneagram 5, if anybody cares.
So is this a book that I need to read?
Yeah, The Road Back to You by Ian Crone.
Okay.
The Road Back to You. Suzanne Stabile and Ian Crone, I think. Crohn, I think. It's really good. But no, you said you like to be knowledgeable, and Enneagram 5s are the investigator. Leslie, our friend Leslie Bourne, is also an Enneagram 5. So when you said that, but you're such an extrovert. I don't know. So I'm gonna make you figure it out.
All right, I will definitely find out what I am. I will get on that, and I will have an answer for you. I will have an answer for you.
Thank you.
On
next
month,
tell me.
The next show.
Okay.
Well, I can't believe that we get to read and have fun on a show.
I know.
I mean, did you ever, and you talked about wanting to do your own podcast, so I hope you,
Yeah,
I hope
my
this
husband and I, we think we're hilarious. Like, we make each other laugh all the time. And one day we thought, the world needs to just hear us talk. So we've been toying with this idea of a podcast, and I like the podcast idea because I don't always want to put on makeup.
right.
So we'll see. But yeah, we may do it. You're inspiring us. I mean, if Dash Hooper can get on here and do people listening to him, maybe they'll listen to Eric and I.
Do it. I just, whenever I talk to people, one of the most things I bring up is write a book. Like, I know a lot of people that could write a book and they would be instant hits, or do something that gets, because again, your knowledge of books astounds me, because whenever you post something, I'm like, I'm going to go get this book, or I'm going to, read more into this. So I love when you post your book knowledge and things like that. So I think you would nail, whether it's, even if you don't, if you do a live, or you do a video, or you do a podcast, no matter what, you guys will nail it. Just like Eric and I, man, I told my wife, I was like, I got off the video with Eric the other night, and I was like, that was one of the coolest moments of my life, listening to his knowledge on football, and because it was and so, in part,
yeah,
give your knowledge to people. I think you'll enjoy it, and if you do it, don't stop until you've done 100.
He had so much fun. And I am not a sports person. I mean, I'm wearing this cute little Saints shirt just because you can't be married to Eric and not root for the Saints. But I'm thankful that he has other people in his life to talk football with.
Wow.
So thank you, Dash, for that.
Yeah, but it was fun, and this is going to be fun. So I hope we have a long tenure of this show, and so I appreciate you coming on tonight. This was just a show to get us our names out there, if you will. So please join us. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a shameless plug. I have a Bookstagram account where I talk about books. It's Amber Reads It All. If you're on Instagram, go follow me over there.
I will do that, and I will put a link to it in the on the YouTube for anybody that wants to know. And but yeah, this is just to get our names out there. Please join along with us on this. Read along with us. Give us the questions. We might miss something, and you might catch it. Yep, there you go. Sandra Brown, Blind Tiger. Sandra Brown, Blind Tiger. Thank you for coming out tonight. You got any parting words for anybody?
Thank you. Go get a book.
Get a book
and just start reading.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. Let me know when your next available
Get this
is.
book. In a month. Yeah.
Okay.
And this time of day is good. So we'll get together. But I'm thinking 4 weeks from now.
All right. Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for coming out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Good to see you, and I'll see you on the next show.
Bye.
Bye.